They just opened up a lot of Milan Van Veer's, Hillary Clinton's chief of staff's files, and they were just fascinating documents. I mean, I took them to the high school, but one of them is a summary. Someone had done a summary for Hillary of her 8 years. It would be daunting to give Hillary Clinton a summary. Her writing was all over that summary. You forgot this.
Yeah.
You had this.
Right.
This is significant.
It was great.
That could be a whole exhibit.
And the summary was about 12 pages long.
Oh, even more.
And then they got speeches that show, even before Beijing, when she was on her South Asia trip, she is pushing women's rights and girls, particularly girls' rights. And when she comes back from one of the trips, someone drafts the letter to the Secretary of State, who I believe was Warren Christopher at that time, and she crosses that out and puts to President Clinton.
Yeah.
You know, so the documentation is fascinating. It's audio-visual like that. Tape, the 3 libraries that have tape recordings, oh my, they're wonderful.
There's no substitute for their own words and their own actions. As much as we've compiled really wonderful information from Martha Washington to Joe Biden, there really is no substitute for them in their own words.
No, I mean, the Abigail Adams letters to John and his to Abigail, it's both old, it goes from old to new. Lyndon Johnson's love letters to Lady Bird, he was way more eager than she was. You know, after 6 hours, he was ready to marry her, and Lady Bird's much more
He was
deliberate.
smart. He was smart to know that.
You know,
Anyway.
Are we up behind? Oh, no, we're good. You know, the speeches, you know, that my field is communication and speeches. And like Barbara Bush's speech at Wellesley, there are 4 First Ladies' speeches that were identified as among the top 100 political speeches of the 20th century. There were 137 of us faculty who were surveyed. Eleanor Roosevelt's 2 speeches on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that she gave at the Sorbonne in France, Barbara Bush's Wellesley speech, and Hillary Clinton's Beijing speech. And I spent a couple weeks at the Bush Library looking at presidential debate stuff, but mainly looking at Barbara Bush and that speech. And the things I found about the background, that speech was controversial because the Wellesley women didn't choose her. If you remember, there was a protest. And so to see the memos, to see the decision-making, it added to what we were able to talk about, and even the letter she sent thanking everybody for sticking with her and helping this speech become so successful. So those are the kinds of things you just can't talk about unless you have those documents.